Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to World of Tanks. Here, doing a review of the SARL 42. So, this is a French Tier 4 medium tank, and I have already done a review on this, but that was before, like literally just before this patch came out with the, patch is War Thunder update for World of Tanks, the 9.15, which adds in all of this extra stuff here to the garage screen. So, going to go over, just do this review again for myself. This will be the first review of this that you see from me. So, enough with that. What this is, it's a Tier 4 French, it's a Tier 4 French medium tank, and surprisingly, I like it. I wasn't expecting to like it because it's basically, well, playing the Somya, which I have now sold because I wanted garage slots to get from the even worse Valentine to get the Archer, which I now have. I like the Archer, but I've just played a game in it, and we're probably going to lose it, even though we were winning for most of it, like winning a couple of kills ahead for the entirety of the game until I died and left. But I don't know what it is. But anyway, so, yes, I wasn't expecting to like the SARL because basically it's a Somya which has had armor stripped away, and it's just bigger target. However, I like it. The armor is not spectacular. It's actually it's armored less armored than the Somya S35, the tier 3 that this leads from. So, looking at it, let's look at the firepower. So, or in fact, actually, let's look at survivability. So, 350 hit points with the upgraded turret, which is decent enough. The T28E with the F30 has got 380 hit points. Let's look at the Sentinel, 370, Matilda, 370. I do have a lot of high health medium tanks at tier 4, but it's fairly standard tier 4 medium tank health. However, the armor is nothing interesting. It's 40 at the front, 30 at the side and rear of both the upgraded turret and the hull armor. With the stock turret, it is 40, 40, 40, because it loses armor at the side and rear. However, it gets the ability to mount much better guns. So yes, the picture that you see here is a fully upgraded one, even though it normally shows a stock version of whatever tank you have bought. It just shows a fully upgraded one. So that is the fully upgraded turret, because it definitely looks very odd with the stock turret. I'm not going to buy it and show it to you, but when you get this, it's only tier 4, shouldn't take you long to get to this, and you can see it for yourself. But yeah, this funny turret is surprisingly bouncy, because this frontal bit, it is sloped, so if something hits it from the side, like at this angle, and it goes, it will just bounce off. And then the sides are also fairly sloped, but then again, only 40mm, which is decent enough at tier 2 and 3, but tier 4 is starting to lack when you have things like the Hetzer, the Matilda, the Sentinel that can easily penetrate 40mm of frontal armor. And it's fairly big, but however, you're not meant to play this sort of as a frontline tank. You play it more as a sort of supporting role. And looking at the mobility here, it weighs 22.2 tons with a 24.3 ton load limit, with a gun rammer, this is, and the more weighty 75 instead of the 47, but we'll get onto the guns later. 230 horsepower engine, stock engine here, Hispano V8. You'll have research from the Somya. I think you also have this top engine. Yeah, also researched from the Somya. So if you've fully upgraded your Somya, then you will have the engines already unlocked from that, and I think you'll also have this gun unlocked from the Somya as well, with 66 average penetration. And that will be the gun that you will be mounting in... yeah, that's the gun that you will be mounting in the stock turret. There it is, the SA-37. That is a different 47, which I will go over, but that is the gun from the Somya. From the Somya. So, 66mm of penetration is Not particularly that good, but it is what you should expect if you've played either the AMX-40 or the B1, because the B1 uses the exact same gun as its top gun. It doesn't even get a better gun. There you go, there it is. Gun, 47mm SA-37 with its 66 average penetration. So if you've already played the B1 or the AMX, you will know that penetration is not the sort of French specialty at mid-tiers. Well, tier 3 and 4. So, yeah, 230 horsepower engine. Getting back on track here with a 40.37 horsepower per ton ratio, which is not very good at all, really. 40, 40 kilometers an hour top speed limit, with 16 going backwards. And the funny thing is, you will actually reach 40 kilometers an hour, unlike the AMX, which says it can reach 50. It won't unless you're going down a hill. This will actually get it on flat ground with relative ease, really. It is fairly mobile with its 40 kilometers an hour, and it's 27 degrees per second traverse speed, but with 100% crew, it will be a 28. I don't have 100% crew, as you can see. My driver is only, well, yeah, there you go. It's only 81%. I bought this tank with, I think, a 50% crew. Then I bolstered them up to 75% when I actually got to like the tank, and then I put camouflage on it, and they've sort of been just training up there. But yeah, so 28 degrees per second when it's fully upgraded really is not particularly that impressive. That's like heavy tank sort of mobility, but the speed is good, but the traverse speed not so much, but it does have the benefit of a turret. And does it go over the turret here? No, it goes over that in firepower. So, looking at this, traverse speed of the turret, 32 degrees per second, still is not particularly good. So the turret and the hull traverse is not very good. If you combine the two, then you'll traverse decently enough, but yeah. So, 300 and... Oh, draw L lift. Come on! Come on, I just want to get the better 17 pounder. God damn it. Injured gunner, damaged ammo rack. And track, destroyed track. Third class mastery. Yeah, there you go. It was a draw. OI versus M4A3 2. Damage caused to allies 1 health because I accidentally rammed a. At the beginning of the game, the birch gun was sort of moving forwards for some reason, and I accidentally rammed into him, but only minus 10, fine. Anyway. Moving back here, so 32 degrees per second. Traverse, not particularly good. But the gun that you can mount, well, the two guns that you can mount with this upgraded turret, you'll first be using this thing, because you will have to research through this if you haven't actually gone down the AMX-40, the BDR routes. I mean, you can't have gone down the G1 route, because that's what this tank leads onto. But if you've already gone down the BDR and the AMX-40, you will have this gun unlocked. If you haven't, however, you'll have to research this first. Luckily, I have already researched my AMX-40. I do like the AMX. So I already had this gun unlocked for me to put on this upgraded turret when I got it. And the reason that the gun looks funny on this is because it's a sort of cowling sort of the gun. On the SARL it looks much better. If I show you the same gun on the G1R, which I have, yay, there it is, we're in a G1 with its funny looking turret. It's a very funny looking machine, stock. But there you go. 57mm SA-32 BDR AMX. And that's what it looks like without the shrouding cover of the AMX-40. But yeah, so it does look a lot better on this tank than the AMX-40 because the AMX-40's got that weird turret cowling thing. Gun mantlet. So the gun that I am showing here, which is, well, there's a choice of two top guns. You've got the 75mm SA-44, which is what I'm using, or the 47 SA-47 Amorelli, or however you say that, French people help. So one's a 75, one's a 47, so therefore the 75, worst rate of fire, 11.1 rounds per minute. 27.3 rate of fire rounds per minute, so obviously higher because it's a lower caliber gun. Slightly more penetration, 6mm more, 100 and 106. 24 with high explosive, there is actually no premium ammo for this 47mm, but there is for the 75. It has 129 penetration, 38 with high explosive. Um, Damage is less for the 47, 55 or 70. Better for the 75, 110 or 175, which is standard 75mm damage. It's the 75 is more inaccurate, 0.43 dispersion, 0.36 for the 47. A standard aiming time, 2.3 seconds, and a very good aiming time, really, 1.9 seconds. The 47 only weighs 100 kilograms. This weighs 1,400 because it's a larger gun. So it really comes down to a choice of whether you want to be a sniper with better penetration, lower damage, higher rate of fire, better accuracy, or whether you want to be a more sort of frontline supporting role with slightly less penetration, better damage, but a slower rate of fire and a more inaccurate gun. Like I said, have gone with the 75 because, well, let's look at the research here, just quickly. Let's look at the research tree. So here it is. So you've got a massive thing up here. You've got all these radios. Still haven't researched this because I sold the Somya. I was planning to get this on the Somya because that's the last thing I have, and then the Somya will be elite. But I just couldn't be bothered to play it anymore. I just hate it so much. But yeah, so I still have that to research. But you've got the 4 different radios. You've got them. You've got the tracks, and you've got the stock turret. So going up here, you don't need to research this gun. However, the thing that persuaded me to choose the 75 over the 47 is what this gun can be mounted on. It can only be mounted on the SARL, whereas this gun is the top gun on the Renault G1 if you don't want to use a howitzer. Because if we just look at the research tree for the G1, stock 75, which is horrible, 74mm penetration crap. Stock turret, upgraded turret, 105, 75. So even if you don't research the 75 on the SARL, you'll have to on the G1 to get to the ARL. So that's the gun that you'll be using on this tank. If you don't already have this tank, if you don't already have this gun unlocked and you don't want to use it, you'll be using it on that. So I decided to go with the 75. I mean, I can always go back to research this and this if I want. So yeah, I'm using the 75, but your mileage may vary. However, one thing to note, the 75 only carries 30 rounds. It's not a large ammo capacity. You'll probably end up running out of ammo. I have a 5.1 second reload time because my crew on 100%, yep. And worse dispersion, worse everything because I don't have 100% crew. But gun depression, very good. -10, which is like down here. It's a very good gun elevation and depression, 18 elevation, which is very good. It's not as good as this thing at tier 3, which has got -12 and 59, but it's still very, very nice. So, moving on from the firepower, you've now got the concealment. So, stationary, it's got a 12.8% concealment and a 3.34 for whatever that is. 10.4 when moving, 2.7 whatever. Compared to something like this, 15, Valentine, 21, 28, 16, 18. What about the AMX? 16 and 9. So out of my loadout here, the only thing that's got a worse concealment is the B1. Like I said, it's a very, very big tank. Look at this. There's the T28E. There's the SARL. T28E is massively long, but it's about the same height. But yet it has a better concealment. I don't know, I don't know whether this thing gets affected by concealment crew. No, it doesn't get affected by your crew percent. Very nice. But yeah, so it's not a particularly stealthy tank. And as for spotting, 330 meters view range with the upgraded turret, which is meh. And with the top radio, you'll have 710 meters, which is a very good signal range for a tank, especially down at tier 4. That's a very good radio, which is comparable to this radio ER55. What about the AMX? only tier 5, 360. Not very good. Um, but yeah, so the French seem to have pretty decent radios, at least these two do. Um, so then for your consumables, standard consumable loadout, you can choose what you want. I have gone with, well, because I have gone with the 75, I can mount a gun rammer. I doubt you can mount a gun rammer on the 47, but with the 75 you definitely can, and you probably will want to. Camonet, possibly. This thing does, I can make it work as a sniper, so you could go with Camonet, not a bad idea. Increase that concealment rating. Improve vents, always useful, you could do. Would probably benefit this tank. White Amaranth, if your Amaranth keeps getting damaged. Enhanced springs. You don't need it for the weight limit, because the weight limit is a very nice thing to work with. You can, yeah, that's plentiful amounts. You don't need that to increase the low capacity, but you may want it to for the suspension durability to stop yourself getting your tracks blown off, but yeah. That's up to you. I'd probably say no. Spawn ladder, probably again no. You don't really have the armor at tier 4 to warrant that being useful, because 40mm, 30 at the side and rear, things will go through you. You know, just probably don't bother with that. Gone over the gun rammer. Binos you could do if you're also equipping it with a camo net. Coated optics, or if you don't want binos, then you could go coated optics. I would say for this sort of loadout, possibly coated optics, but then again, up to you. Gun lane drive, you don't need it. 2.3 seconds is a good enough aiming time. It's standard aiming time, and if you're going with the 47, that's even lower. So you don't need that. That'd be a waste of a slot. And toolbox is always useful. So you do fit a crew of 4 in this thing. And the commander is just the commander. I'm just drinking some tea here. So, your commander, 6 cents you'll probably want, because if you get spotted you will probably die, because you cannot count on your armor saving you. I have had my armor save me several times, but I would say don't count on it, because you can bounce things. I mean, if we look at this, that is a very, very nice slope right there. The turret is also fairly sloped. The back of the turret, yeah, also fairly sloped there. It's also, if you angle it, it does have slight sloping. The Somnias always did have decent enough side armor when you're angling, so you can bounce things, but if you're sort of frontal on, people will just aim for that and they'll go straight through, because if you look, that's not much of a slope. The gun mantlet, I think, would probably be a pretty strong thing. That does look like a strong gun mantlet, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I'd say probably 6 cents is definitely a useful thing to have. Eagle Eye is also always useful. Jack of all trades, I don't see the point in really. Well, I mean, it's useful definitely. It's more useful than having a crew member just taken out in already. It's, you know, Jack of all trades is useful, but I would say probably other things are probably more useful. Recon, you could do recon. That always useful. That and mentor, I don't see the point in. Then of course you've got your common skills such as camouflage, or as it's been renamed, concealment. So for your gunner, Deadeye is probably going to benefit this tank more than it would other tanks, where you would just put it on a standard. Because you only have 30 rounds of AP, or APCR, or HE, depending on what you want, you'll probably want to make the most of them. So Deadeye is probably a definitely useful thing to have. Your turret doesn't rotate that quickly, and if you're using the 75, then you'll probably... 75 is not really that accurate anyway, so I'd say probably hold off on snapshot. Armorer to increase your accuracy of your damaged gun. Then again, your gun's already fairly inaccurate, but then again, if you want, up to you. And designate target is, it's always a useful thing to have. Even if you don't shoot at them, it may help your teammate kill them off, and that could be the difference between winning or losing the battle. Then you've got your common skills there. Then you've got a driver. So your driver. Clutch braking is always useful, probably going to benefit this tank a lot, because this tank, 28 degrees per second, hold reverse, not that good. Clutch braking, definitely going to want that. Preventive maintenance, in case you keep getting set on fire. It's a French tank, we must make a French joke about how they always retreat, so your engine keeps getting damaged because you're always retreating and facing away from the enemy, you'll want that. Smooth ride, you're not very accurate. I'd say just don't bother firing on the move unless you're using the 47. I'm sure the 47 does have a larger ammo capacity, so you could just blaze away. But for the 75, hold off on that. Off-road driving is always useful. Controlled impact, meh. You could ram things, but you don't have the armor to, so I'd say probably hold off on that. And then you've got your common skills. Then finally, you've got your loader, but combined with a radio operator. So, save storage in case your ammo rack keeps getting damaged. Adrenaline rush is always useful. Down at low tiers, definitely going to be useful. Intuition, if you're carrying around a stock of APCR, which you may want to carry around a couple with this because, I mean, definitely 100 millimeters of penetration is definitely a lot for a tier 4. I mean, it's definitely a useful thing to have, but if you want to carry around a couple of premium ammo rounds, then you could. But then again, if you're using the 47, if you're using high explosive, you deserve to die, because 47mm high explosive does nothing. So you'll only be carrying around AP, and there's no premium ammunition. So if you're using the 47 and you're going with this skill, there's something wrong with you. So yeah, don't use that if you're using the 47. You may want for the SA 44 75. But yeah, then you've got your radio operator skills. Signal boosting, you don't need it when you have the upgraded radio because 710 meter signal range is a lot. So I'd say probably go with relay to benefit your team with your pretty good radio, well, your very good radio. So go with that first, then maybe situational awareness because that's always useful. Call for Vengeance, you could do then if you really want to go with signal boosting, then you can, but I'd say just don't bother with that. Then you've got your common skills. And that is it for the SARL. I wasn't expecting to like this tank, but I am happily surprised that I do. It's a very fun tier 4 medium tank. The ammo count is... It would be nice to have a larger ammo count, but yeah, it's basically a Somnia but with a slightly different turret, and it has much bigger shells to fit in it, so I can understand why it's not very high, but still would be nice. It's large, it doesn't have a particularly good maneuverability, but the speed is alright, and the gun selection, the top gun selections are definitely a good, well, they do have very nice gun selection. So yes, that was the SARL 42 Tier 4 French medium tank. I will thank you for watching, and goodbye.